Sitting here with Ty Riley. Ty, thanks for coming out to the studio today.
No problem. Appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
It's great, great workshop, great class. Kids loved it. So you're telling these kids you started dancing at 19.
Right, and I was probably, to be honest, I was probably like late 19, probably almost 20 already. I love that sound system. Most studios do not sound like this. Like you miss so much in music if you don't have good speakers. The headphones and everything like that is night and day as far as choreography wise. It's bad as I was basically in college before I ever stepped foot into a dance studio.
Any regrets on that?
Huge regrets. I look at the kids that I'm teaching nowadays, and the moment they come in, even the slight potential that they have to work on or train with, it's just so much better than I ever thought. And I tell them every single day, don't stop dancing, because the day that you do, you're going to regret it. Here we go, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2. Whenever you're trying to train yourself and you're self-taught, or you're just practicing in your room, or practicing watching a video or something like that, or even just doing the popular styles that are popular at a certain time, a lot of times you're missing something, and what you're missing is just you're missing inspiration. Sometimes you're missing direction. You're missing just a way of learning that you really just haven't found yet. This movement here is like a heel toe. You remember like a heel toe, right? This is your movement. It's never too late to start, but don't expect it to be easy. And that's the main thing. The struggle that you have to go with just from the beginning, because a lot of it is really just training your brain to pick up on movement. You maybe can do the moves, you maybe have the best rhythm in the world, maybe you could freestyle like no other, but if someone is to teach you something like choreography-wise, the hardest thing is really just training your brain to remember what's next, do it in the correct order, and do it at the right time. 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, 8. Yes, that's all. Whenever I was introduced to conventions and everything, I saw a problem, and the problem is that I was from a really small town in Texas, and I would have to travel 2 hours, 3 hours, sometimes 5 hours to go receive training or go to a convention or just enjoy the weekend at these conventions. So that was a problem to me, because not only was it me, but it was also maybe 5, 6 other studios from my local area. So what I wanted to do was create an event for my hometown back in Texas, to where they wouldn't really have to spend money on hotel rooms, and they'd be able to go to an event, get the same convention experience, learn from amazing people, and then be able to save money and be able to do this more often. And that's kind of where I started from. Have fun with it. Just be like, hey, dancing. Yeah. Okay?
Now tell me about the name.
Okay.
Why the Streetz?
Okay, so the Streetz sounds very hip-hop, right? And that's kind of my background. Whenever I first started, that was the style that I go into, and that's the style that I still teach today. I still teach hip-hop. So I wanted to sound, I really liked whenever the movie Step Up, Take It to the Streets, just came out.
I remember that.
And of course they spelled it a little different than I do, but it came out, and that was just about the time that I had actually really been teaching, kind of going to conventions and everything like that, and I was really getting the idea to bring the convention, start up a convention. So I started possibly looking at names. And I really didn't want just a basic name to where you would say, hey, I'm going to blah, 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 blah. I wanted it to be something to where you say, hey, I'm going to the Streets, and make it sound cool whenever you said it. So if you say, hey, you going to the Streets this weekend? And they're like, yeah, I'll be at the Streets, you going? That sounded really, really cool to me, because it sounded like it would be like an urban, like hip-hop style place where people would be battling and fun, but then I wanted to also twist it and make sure everybody knows that it's not just hip-hop. It's every style of dance. I love the side dance, but I never see what it looks like the new angles that this is from on the side. Whenever I basically was looking for teachers, one thing I looked for was versatility. And a lot of our teachers, they are not just stuck on one style. They do not prefer one style or the other. They actually teach everything. Whenever I was picking these people, is I was looking for just a couple of qualities. How well do they teach? Because there's a lot of people that are on TV nowadays that may be great dancers, but maybe not great teachers.
That's very true.
how do they react to kids? Some people hate kids. Some people can talk to kids and can teach kids. In this business with conventions and everything like that, that's your target audience, is kids. Another thing is their choreography, and then another thing is their dancing. So they have to basically have these 4 aspects and everything like that, and they also have to be down to earth. We started as a 1-city event, then we grew to a 2-city event, then we grew to a 3-city event, and then we received so much praise from our cities that it has been a big push from basically all the cities that we're going to this year to go into a national tour. And we're very proud to announce that this year that we're going into a 10-city tour with a national final. So it's 11 total cities. And it was never meant to be nothing more than a 1-city event. After leaving, you will leave inspired, and you will not be wanting to go home and go to sleep. You'll be wanting to go to the studio and dance some more.
How strong are you?
Dancer strong.